Sophie loved food. From the moment she could hold a spoon, she was fascinated by the colors, textures, and aromas that filled her kitchen. Her parents often found her experimenting with ingredients, trying to recreate dishes she had seen on cooking shows. More than that, she loved the stories food could tell. Each dish was a narrative, a piece of history on a plate. Whether it was a family recipe passed down through generations or a new creation inspired by her travels, Sophie believed that food was a universal language. Her blog, Stirring the Pot, was her way of sharing those stories with the world. She poured her heart into every post, hoping to connect with readers who shared her passion. Her blog wasn't just about recipes, it was about the people and cultures behind them. From her cozy Vancouver apartment, she'd explored cuisines from around the globe. Italian pasta, Indian curries, Japanese sushi. Each dish was a new adventure. She loved the way food could transport her to different places without ever leaving her home. But lately, a new passion had ignited within her: Canadian barbecue. It wasn't just about grilling meat, it was about the community, the traditions, and the unique flavors that made it special. She wanted to dive deep into this culinary world and uncover its secrets. Growing up, Sophie had fond memories of summer barbecues with her family. The backyard would be filled with laughter, the sizzle of the grill, and the mouth-watering aroma of her dad's famous burgers. Those moments were the highlight of her childhood. The scent of sizzling burgers and the smoky aroma of cedar-planked salmon filled the air. It was a sensory experience that stayed with her, a reminder of simpler times and the joy of sharing a meal with loved ones. Laughter and conversation flowed as freely as the ice-cold lemonade. These gatherings were more than just meals, they were celebrations of togetherness, moments that brought people closer and created lasting memories. It was more than just a meal, it was a celebration of togetherness. The clinking of glasses, the shared stories, and the collective joy made each barbecue a special occasion. Sophie realized that Canadian barbecue was more than just burgers and hot dogs. It was a culinary tapestry woven with diverse ingredients and techniques. From the sweet and tangy sauces to the perfectly smoked meats, each dish told a story of its own. It was a diverse and delicious reflection of the country's rich cultural heritage. The influence of Indigenous cooking methods combined with the flavors brought by immigrants from around the world made Canadian barbecue truly unique. From the Indigenous peoples who had been smoking meat for centuries to the waves of immigrants who brought their unique culinary traditions, Canadian barbecue was a melting pot of flavors and techniques. Canadian barbecue was a melting pot of flavors. Each bite was a journey through the country's history, a taste of the diverse cultures that called Canada home. Determined to explore this culinary landscape, Sophie packed her bags, grabbed her camera, and set off on a cross-country road trip. She wanted to meet the people behind the grills, learn their stories, and taste their creations. Her mission: to uncover the secrets of Canadian barbecue and share its delicious stories with the world. She was excited to document her journey, capturing the essence of each barbecue she encountered. She couldn't wait to taste the flavors, meet the people, and experience the heart of Canadian barbecue. This was more than just a culinary adventure. It was a journey to understand the soul of a nation through its food. Sophie's journey began in the heart of the Canadian prairies. She had always been fascinated by the stories of the land, the people, and the animals that called this vast region home. The prairies, with their endless horizons and rich history, had a magnetic pull on her soul. The vast, open landscape stretched out before her, a canvas painted with hues of gold and green. The prairies seemed to breathe with life, each gust of wind carrying whispers of ancient tales and forgotten legends. A patchwork of golden fields and endless sky, the prairies were a testament to nature's grandeur. The horizon seemed to stretch infinitely, merging with the azure sky in a seamless embrace. It was a sight that filled Sophie with awe and a sense of peace. The air was filled with the scent of wildflowers and the sound of the wind whispering through the grasslands. Each step Sophie took was accompanied by the rustling of grasses and the distant calls of birds, creating a symphony of nature that was both soothing and invigorating. It was a land that spoke of tradition and resilience. The prairies had seen generations of settlers, farmers, and indigenous peoples, each leaving their mark on the land. The stories of their struggles and triumphs were etched into the very soil, waiting to be discovered by those who took the time to listen. Her first stop was a ranch in southern Alberta, a place where the past and present coexisted in harmony. Here, she met a rancher named Jake, a man whose life was deeply intertwined with the land he called home. Jake was a man of few words, but his weathered face and calloused hands told a story of hard work and deep connection to the land. His eyes, though tired, sparkled with a quiet pride and a deep respect for the prairies. He was a fifth-generation rancher, carrying on the legacy of his ancestors. The ranch had been in his family for over a century, a testament to their enduring bond with the land. Jake specialized in raising bison, a majestic animal that had roamed the prairies for centuries. The bison were more than just livestock to him, they were a symbol of the prairie's wild and untamed spirit. The bison, with their massive frames and shaggy coats, moved gracefully across the prairie, grazing on the native grasses. Their presence was a reminder of a time when vast herds roamed freely, shaping the landscape with their migration. He explained to Sophie that bison meat was leaner and more flavorful than beef. It was a staple of the indigenous peoples who had lived on the land for generations, providing them with sustenance and strength. The indigenous peoples had a deep respect for the bison, seeing them as a gift from the Creator. They used every part of the animal, ensuring nothing went to waste. This sustainable way of living was a lesson in harmony with nature. He invited Sophie to try his famous smoked bison ribs, prepared using a traditional indigenous method. The ribs were slow smoked for hours over smoldering cherry wood, a technique passed down through generations. The ribs were slow smoked for hours over smoldering cherry wood. The process was meticulous, requiring patience and skill to achieve the perfect balance of flavor and tenderness. The smoke infused the meat with a rich, earthy flavor that was both familiar and exotic. Each bite was a journey through time, connecting Sophie to the ancient traditions of the land. As Sophie savored the tender, juicy ribs, she listened intently as Jake shared stories of his ancestors and their deep respect for the bison and the land. Each story was a thread in the rich tapestry of prairie life, weaving together the past and present in a beautiful, enduring legacy. The sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the prairie. Sophie felt a deep sense of connection to the land and its history. She knew that this journey was just the beginning of her exploration of the Canadian prairies, a land of endless stories and timeless beauty. From the prairies, Sophie ventured eastward, leaving behind the vast, open landscapes that stretched as far as the eye could see. The prairies, with their golden fields and endless skies, had been her home for many years, but now she was on a quest to discover the secrets of the sea. Her journey took her to the rugged coast of the Maritime Provinces, a place where the land meets the ocean in a dramatic embrace. The rocky shores and crashing waves were a stark contrast to the gentle prairies she had known. The air was thick with the salty tang of the sea, a scent that was both invigorating and foreign to her senses. The mist from the ocean waves clung to her skin, and she could taste the salt on her lips. The cries of gulls filled the air, their calls echoing over the water and adding to the symphony of the sea. These birds were the true inhabitants of this coastal world, their presence a constant reminder of the ocean's bounty. The Maritimes were a place where the ocean was a way of life, and seafood reigned supreme. Fishing boats bobbed in the harbors, and coastal villages bustled with activity as fishermen brought in their daily catch. Sophie met with a fisherman named Marie on Prince Edward Island. Marie was a seasoned fisherwoman, her life intertwined with the rhythms of the sea. Marie was a woman with a hearty laugh and a twinkle in her eye. Her spirit was as vibrant as the ocean itself, and she welcomed Sophie with open arms. She had been fishing these waters since she was a young girl, learning the trade from her father and grandfather. Each day, she cast her nets with the same hope and determination that had driven her ancestors. Marie knew every cove and current like the back of her hand. She navigated the waters with ease, pointing out the best fishing spots and sharing stories of her adventures at sea. Marie introduced Sophie to the art of smoking Atlantic salmon, a local delicacy that had been perfected over generations. The process was intricate and required patience and skill. She explained that the key was to use a slow, gentle smoke from hardwoods like maple or apple. The smoke infused the fish with a delicate flavor, enhancing its natural richness. This imparted a delicate sweetness to the fish that perfectly complemented its rich, buttery flavor. The result was a culinary masterpiece that celebrated the essence of the Maritimes. Sophie watched in awe as Marie expertly filleted and prepared the salmon. Her hands moved with practiced precision, each cut revealing the glistening flesh of the fish. She learned that the fish was often paired with local ingredients like wild blueberries and fiddleheads. These unique flavors added a touch of the land to the sea's bounty, creating a harmonious blend. The combination of flavors was both surprising and delicious, a testament to the creativity and resourcefulness of the maritime people. As Sophie savored the meal, she felt a deep connection to the Maritimes. The food, the people, and the sea had woven together to create an experience that was truly unforgettable. It was a true taste of the Maritimes, a place where the ocean's gifts were cherished and celebrated. Section 4. Quebec's Flair Spit-Roasted Traditions. Sophie's culinary adventure continued eastward to Quebec, a province steeped in history and French tradition. The charming streets of Quebec City, lined with cobblestone streets and historic architecture, transported her to another time. The air was filled with the sound of French being spoken, and the aroma of freshly baked bread. It was here that Sophie met a renowned chef named Jean-Pierre. He was a master of traditional Quebecois cuisine, and his restaurant was known for its elegant ambiance and exquisite food. Jean-Pierre was a firm believer in honoring the past while embracing modern techniques. He invited Sophie to witness the preparation of his signature dish, spit-roasted suckling pig. The pig was marinated for hours in a blend of herbs and spices, then slowly roasted over an open fire. The result was a culinary masterpiece: crispy skin, tender meat, and an explosion of flavors. Jean-Pierre also introduced Sophie to a unique twist on a Quebecois classic grilled poutine. He explained that grilling the cheese curds added a smoky dimension to the dish, while the gravy provided a rich and savory counterpoint. Section 5. Ontario's Multicultural Feast. Next, Sophie's journey took her to Ontario, Canada's most populous province and a melting pot of cultures. Toronto, the provincial capital, was a vibrant tapestry of ethnic neighborhoods, each with its unique culinary offerings. Sophie was eager to explore the city's diverse barbecue scene, where she encountered a fusion of flavors that reflected Ontario's multicultural heart. She met with chefs from all walks of life, each with their own unique take on barbecue. She learned the art of preparing Jamaican jerk chicken from a chef named Winston. He explained that the secret to authentic jerk seasoning was a blend of Scotch bonnet peppers, allspice, and thyme. The chicken was marinated for hours, then grilled to perfection over charcoal, resulting in a spicy and flavorful dish. Sophie also had the opportunity to try Korean BBQ short ribs, expertly prepared by a chef named Jin. The ribs were marinated in a sweet and savory blend of soy sauce, garlic, and ginger. They were then grilled to perfection over a tabletop grill, allowing Sophie to savor the interactive dining experience.